Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So today I'm doing the art journal prompts, week 2 prompt, which is texture. So last week I started to use this book that I got from the Tiger shop, but I noticed that one of the pages was coming out. So I decided to leave a space in between and then go to the next page. And I started to apply this layer of gesso. But as I was applying it, I realised that this page was starting to come out too. So I've just decided to abandon that book. I will use it for other things. And I will take last week's art journal page out and I'll put it into this book that I'm now using, which is a Ranger journal. So I've laid down a layer of gesso, and all I've done is to take the end of my paintbrush and I'm using that to sculpt some lines. I'm now taking a couple of stencils and I'm going to use some texture paste through these, again just to give a bit more texture and a bit more dimension to the page. I think this particular stencil had some ink left on it from before, and you can see that it's got a little bit of colour as I've laid it down there. However, as I was looking at it, I thought it's looking awfully bright. I was going to build up all the layers first, but to make it easier to see on camera, I decided to add some colour at this stage. So I just used a set of Artist Loft watercolours just to put some colour down to make it easier to see. Although I knew I'd be changing it later, I did actually quite like it as it was at this stage, but I knew there was a lot more that I wanted to do to it. So I'm now taking some masking tape. I think it's the Duck brand. Sometimes people refer to it as painter's tape. And I'm starting to lay some pieces down. But I noticed that it's actually not going to hold terribly well, although it is quite a sticky one. Because I was putting it on an uneven surface, it wasn't going to stick, so just using some gel medium to stick that down. And I'm cutting these in different sizes, and you'll see that I layer some on top of the others. And I'm now taking some clear gesso. Initially I was just going to put it over the masking tape because I want to be able to add colour to it, and I wasn't sure how well the colour would grip the masking tape, but I just gave it a quick once over the whole page. And now just taking some of this raffia, I couldn't remember the name there, and I've torn it into thinner strips, and I'm now just starting to glue some of this down with gel medium as well. And this of course will give it further texture. And I do the same again with what will become water. So I'm just taking some Payne's Grey and white, and I'm going to start to block in the masking tape, which is supposed to represent buildings. So I was having to look at this quite closely, which is why you see my head popping in and out of shot. And there we have it blocked in. And I'm giving it a quick dry in between most stages. So I'm now taking these Inktense bars. I do like Inktense, I like the pencils, but the bars seem to be even more pigmented. And just laying that down and then using a bit of water to spread it out. Rubbing back just slightly there. And now I'm taking some colours to do the sky. And again, just using some water to spread the colours out. And just taking little bits and pieces of that colour and just putting it onto the water. So another Inktense bar, and just doing the foreground. I wanted this to be relatively dark because it's supposed to be an evening scene. And just kind of trying to get my brush right into all of that because it is very textured. Now trying to bring the sun's rays back out a bit. Again, it's quite difficult to see, which is why again my head kept popping in and out of the shot. This particular journal I'm using, I was keeping it for another project, but I just decided that I would start using it today. So now using some Inktense pencils, this is Chinese ink, the colour, and just looking to give a bit of definition to the buildings. And again, I'm having to look very closely at it and feeling the tape so I can see where the edges are. And I'm just trying to give the sense here of some buildings being in front of the others. I'm not looking for this to be accurate in terms of perspective or anything, it's just to give that sense of a number of buildings and some depth there. So I thought I might start to put some black in behind some of the flowers from that stencil, and I'm just trying it in little spots, but I decided that it wasn't necessary, but I just left that there anyway. But I did want to start to bring out just the tips of some of the flowers, just with a bit of red and yellow, just to pick up kind of what would be the effect of the sun just touching those, and that kind of sunset just touching those. So I guess my scene here is about standing on one side, seeing the grass bank and flowers, and looking over the river to the city. And just adding a little bit of green here and there as well. So I've now just got a selection of pens that I just want to do a little bit of detail with, a little bit of highlighting. Again, just as if the buildings are catching the sun's rays. And at the front, just thinking about light hitting glass. So taking some bronze and gold, because again I just want to use that to bring out a bit of the texture. I'd never known why this paint was so difficult to get out, and then discovered it had a big blob in it. It must have been like that when I got it, because I've always had some problems with it. But again, I thought these colours just helped reflect the sun hitting on things, but also brought out some of the relief. I do find that when I start to use my fingers to paint with, I really don't want to stop. I just enjoy it so much. So I'm calling this Evening Cityscape. I often don't date my work, but yeah, I just decided to this time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up, and I hope you'll join me again for future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.